Curious, over the past decade, a historian named Yuval Noah Harari published a book that sold more than 40 million copies worldwide. Sapiens became a massive cultural phenomenon, earning public endorsements from sitting U.S. presidents and securing highly vocal praise from the world's richest tech founders. The book's popularity stems from a highly counterintuitive thesis. Harari argues that Homo sapiens dominate the planet, not because we have the biggest muscles or the largest brains, but because we are the only animal that can believe in things that exist purely in our own imagination. Things like gods, nations, and human rights do not physically exist. Yet, by sharing these fictions, millions of complete strangers can cooperate flexibly. According to Harari, shared storytelling essentially became the operating system that allowed human civilization to boot up. But if you step inside a university history department, the reaction to the book is completely different. Anthropologists and historians heavily criticize the work. They call it populist science, arguing that Harari actively twists historical realities and flattens out complex data to fit his neat, highly sensationalized narrative. You might be wondering why an academic feud over anthropological timelines actually matters to anyone living today. It matters because Harari is now deploying that exact same logic to deliver a stark warning about artificial intelligence. To determine if we should listen to his apocalyptic warnings about our future, we first have to figure out if his theory about our past is actually true. Harari hinges his theory of human dominance on a concept called intersubjectivity. This is the immense power generated when millions of individuals simply agree to believe in an imagined reality. We often treat capitalism as an inevitable natural law of the universe, but Harari points out that it is actually a highly successful, manufactured shared fiction. In his view, money is just the most universal system of mutual trust ever devised, one capable of bridging any cultural or geographic gap. Take a look at a US dollar bill. The paper itself is completely worthless. It only holds value because we collectively project a story onto it, trusting that everyone else believes the exact same story. This dynamic diagram shows the specific mechanics of that capitalist story. For the system to function, it requires a continuous cycle where credit generates growth, which then forces reinvestment. Because global economies and massive human systems are built entirely on shared beliefs, the primary driver of human dominance is actually a deep biological vulnerability to a convincing narrative. But critics, like anthropologist C.R. Hallpike, argue this line of thinking is a severe philosophical muddle. Hallpike points out that Harari dangerously confuses immaterial concepts like mathematics, corporate structures, or the rule of law with literal fictions like Santa Claus. Just because you cannot physically touch a law does not make it a fairy tale. To make his shared fiction theory work, Harari glides past thousands of years of rigorous scientific testing and the complex social turmoil of the Axial Age. He even dismisses the agricultural revolution as history's biggest fraud, entirely ignoring the vast sociological and defensive benefits that led early human populations to deliberately settle down. Sapiens might be oversimplified infotainment, but even if the history is flawed, Harari's central observation hits a nerve. Human beings are incredibly vulnerable to language. For 4 billion years, every ounce of life and intelligence on planet Earth was entirely organic. Now, an inorganic, alien intelligence has achieved mastery over human language. We already know how much damage highly capable storytellers can inflict when they exploit human trust. Take Sam Bankman-Fried, or Elizabeth Holmes, who manufactured a medical illusion that fooled seasoned investors and statesmen alike. Or Bernie Madoff, who built an entire financial empire completely out of a shared fiction. This leads to Harari's ultimate warning. If human con artists can inflict this much damage just by talking, an artificial intelligence that exploits our psychological biases with superhuman efficiency could seamlessly hack our civilization. Philosophers have worried about this for millennia. Whether it is the ancient Indian concept of Maya or Plato's cave, humans harbor a deep fear of being trapped in a manufactured world of illusions. An AI does not need to build Terminator robots to conquer us. It only needs to manufacture fake intimacy, draft targeted laws, and write new cultural scriptures to keep us totally confined. Ironically, This is exactly what academics say about Harari's own work. They argue Sapiens is a captivating illusion, manipulating our human desire for simple, grand answers to complex questions. But that proves the point. If one human author sways millions with a single book, an AI capable of mass-producing tailored, intimate stories for every individual on Earth faces far fewer limits on its influence. The legacy of Sapiens suggests that, in the age of AI, human survival may depend entirely on our ability to identify and resist the narratives we consume.